Welcome to Konnekt, presented by Baby Monster DJ, a community for aspiring DJs, producers, musicians, and music lovers to collaborate and showcase their music. Also, receive advice from industry professionals and join a weekly live forum where music insiders talk about the business of music. Today's guest is one of the most successful up-and-coming DJ producers from Latin America. His global hit singles and collaborations have been supported by AAA artists in massive stages like Tomorrowland, Printworks, Beyond Wonderland, and much more. With over 5 million streams and top 100 charted tracks, the future is very bright, where he will continue to expand his sound and rhythms of authentic Latin American culture blended with dance music. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce DJ Cato Anaya. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, and thank you for that introduction. That sounded really cool.
You're out there in Colombia right now, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in my home in Bogota. This is my home studio where I prepare all my sets, produce and write most of my music. So yeah, I'm currently here.
We want to know like about yourself. Like, how did you get into this music industry? How did you get to where you are now as a DJ producer? What was your journey like?
Well, it's been a long road. Basically, I started loving music and arts when I was a kid, writing like poems, songs. I always went with my guitar to my school, and I always got in trouble because I was always just like thinking about music. It was something that at the beginning was something that I really wanted to do from my heart, and I got a lot of support from my parents. Like they really like supported me, saying like, "Hey, study a bit more. Let's get you into an academy. Let's get you with professors." And well, started to really dedicating most of my time to music rather than going to school. Spent at least like 5 years in that road, like with bands, singing in bands and recording Latin music in my home studio back then, also working in other studios, learning about music engineering, learning about music theory itself, about the different genres of Latin music, because at first I wasn't a dance music artist or producer. I was just in love with music in general. So then it came a big opportunity, like when I was like 20, 21, where I was reached out by Sony Music. That is a major label. They were searching for a dance music project. At that moment, I was in that stage where I was like blending and mixing dance music with folkloric Colombian music. And yeah, that was amazing. At that point, like they really wanted, because, it was the main wave of EDM per se, like when all these huge videos from Ultra, Tomorrowland.
When was this? What year was this around?
It was like 12 years ago, something like that, maybe, when I was like 23, something like that. So yeah, I made like an album, signed with Sony Music. There was a lot of like DJs with huge careers, and I got that opportunity because I was like really a producer. In Colombia, there were a lot of DJs, but there were not so many producers and writers. Yeah, I spent with them 5 years of my career that were amazing. I traveled the world, found my style, my rhythm by the end of our venture together. One cool thing that I always tell is that like the luck is like the mixture between opportunity and being prepared, right? By the end of my venture with Sony, I was really into getting folkloric sounds, Latin vocals, writing, going to a studio in Barranquilla with all my knowledge from when I was little, and recording gaita players, drum players, singers, chants. And I was booked to do a show in a city called Bucaramanga here. I was opening for one of my idols that is called Kreider. I was just out of Sony Music, like 2 months out. I was like searching as an independent artist. Now we met at an airport because we hadn't like really talked on person before. We met at the airport, my idol. And suddenly all the planes start to cancel because of a storm. There was like a riot, and I managed to get with my idol 8 hours in a waiting room, right? And this is where I say that the
Wow.
luck thing, because he told me like, hey, like what's your group, like what's your style? I told him, yeah, I'm trying to blend Latin American music. What I want to do is create a new folklore, new cumbia, new Latin music, but write it from zero, with the authentic singers and artists from my country and from Latin America, and do new
Wow.
dance music. So he was like, wow, show me, right? And I was like, yeah, I have 10 tracks. So in 10 hours, man, I showed him the tracks. And actually that day he said, man, I want to sign you as an
Wow.
artist. I'm doing a big label with alongside Spinning Records, and the main focus of the label is gonna be a lot of folkloric rhythms with dance music. So I want you to be one of the pillars of this project. And boom, yeah. From there, I've just been working nonstop, having different styles of and subgenres of Latin music with house music, and I have been supported with so many amazing artists that is overwhelming sometimes.
Nice. I heard you just got back from touring. I mean, so what's it like to be, to be you? What's your like typical week or month like? You're going around DJing, going to parties.
A lot of headaches and a lot of hangovers. It's crazy because 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I did a lot of shows, right? And I did tours, but it was like 3 shows a month, and maybe a tour I did like in a couple of months. I did 7 shows or something like that. They were like really separated in between, and I had a lot of time to be at my home working on music, or just chilling. But the last I could say the last 2 years, it's just been like we're doing sometimes 15 shows a month. We're doing minimum 10 or 12 shows a month. So this is what I always wanted, to become a touring artist. I thrive out of the crowd, and being on stage, and being on parties. I love it. It's a dream job. It's hotels, airplanes, boats, canoes, trains, man. I was just kidding with my manager. It's like, hey, we have taken like 10 types of transportations in the last 24
Wow.
hours. Like, it's like the bus, the golf car in the hotel, the canoe, the yachts. It's like crazy. I love it. I don't want to stop doing this, and I won't stop doing this. Never, never, until my body says no more, I guess.
Nice. It's like you're living like the best of both worlds because like one, you're as a producer, you're in the studio, you're inside, you're in that world and you're hidden, your space is there. And then you got this other side when you're a DJ, you're out there with the people, you're throwing your beats to the people and you're interacting with the people and like
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And the most beautiful thing about it is that I go and play and perform my music. Latin music is happy music, is
yeah.
music that comes from the soul, from the heart, and makes people dance. So it works.
What would you say would be your biggest struggle yet so far and how did you overcome it?
Brother, there's a lot of bumps in this road, because nowadays it's not just about music or
Mm.
about shows. There's a lot of things involved for your career to be successful, from having a good PR, good relationships with people, getting to know, for example, English. If I don't know English, I wouldn't be able
Oh,
to
wow.
talk with you or to talk with the world. And getting to know about contracts, about royalties, and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna
uh,
ask you, like, as a DJ, like, does it help to know a bit of like business skills or business
Of course.
knowledge?
Yeah, man. We are a two-person team. My wife is my manager, and basically she's all about business. She's the business side of Cato Anaya. And one of the things that you really struggle at first is basically in bookings and business, in contracts, in the promoter not delivering what he was supposed to deliver, or going to a show and you are not getting paid, so that's why you need to get paid beforehand. And the only way to know to learn this thing is basically when those things happen to you, right? So when you have a horrible show, you need to learn why is that show horrible.
Mm,
And then become a better artist, and knowing how to adapt to different crowds, different subgenres, different vibes, because as a DJ you are playing with the vibe of a crowd, and it's your responsibility for the crowd to
wow.
have an amazing time, and also your responsibility for the club to do good, to have good sales. And you're in the center of the stage, and everybody's looking at you, and uh, you need to handle that, and be a good showman, and be kind to people. And it's not an
Nice.
easy thing to do, but it's a wonderful thing to do.
You mentioned earlier that you were like destiny blessed you to be stuck with your idol for 8 hours. Who else would you say would be your inspiration or for your music?
I mean, I have so many, artists. I love, from Carl Cox, David Thor, that was just with me last week on the
Oh,
studio
wow.
working. There's so many, also David Guetta, Calvin Harris. Those guys have, worked so much for the industry. I love, for example, I love techno. I love Adam Beyer. There's so many inspirations out there, because those guys are also living their dream. One thing I could say to young up and coming DJs is,
Yeah.
like, you have to, like, really enjoy every step of the way. You cannot be the number one DJ in 1 month or in 10 days. The road is long. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of, I don't like to say competition, but the level of artists out there is incredible. So if you have talent and you want to do this for real, and you gotta work really hard in studying music, in studying production, in studying how to express yourself in social media, how to get your music out there, and all of the stuff that we have talked about.
Yeah, you were talking about social media and stuff. I mean, like it's relatively like a new thing. Like the DJs back in the '80s didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So, what's your take on this? Like, being a DJ and producer now, and the technology that we have, and like, where do you think it's gonna go in the future? Like the music industry or the DJ industry?
Back then it was all about the music. It's all about the tracks, and the music and the producers. People didn't even know the faces of the artists until they saw them in Space Miami, or in a big warehouse in Detroit, or in a big festival in Berlin. Nowadays, social media, it's how people sell themselves today. I wouldn't advise people to just like sell themselves to social media and start doing scandals, and start doing stuff for likes and videos. What I would say is, like, find your groove. You need to find ways to express yourselves through social media where you feel comfortable, that also entertains. We are entertainers, and social media, it's about entertainment. People go to TikTok and see an 8-second video, or go to Instagram and see a 15-second story. Okay, yeah, I'm a laid back producer from the studio. How can I use whatever I have to entertain people through those small seconds we have today to express ourselves and to showcase our talents?
What about this NFT phenomenon? Like, I mean, now artists and DJs are releasing their music as NFTs, and
Yeah.
it's like now they're bypassing like the record labels, and it's like they're giving out their music peer to peer, like direct to the people. Like, what's your take on this whole NFT phenomenon, especially with music?
Man, I think it's a beautiful and great opportunity for music itself. And I want to explain myself. Like, music came to a point. It is at a point where you spend I don't know, 4 to 6 months creating a track. You write the melodies, you go with the singers, and you put all this effort to music, right? To creating the track or the album, right? And then you sign it to a record label that, because of the state of music, gives you some horrible contracts. And then you basically give the music for free in platforms, right? Getting music or tracks that are released in the internet, it's easy, it's free at a point in the platforms as well. So what I think NFTs can bring to music is to give again value to the production and to the music piece. Why? Because somehow it becomes exclusive to the real fans that pay whatever value you put to the NFT, but pay really because they love your music, and they exclusively they want to get that music from you, and it's a way of also giving back to the artist. That's my take on it. NFTs gives different possibilities to maybe shake a bit out the music business and try and give back to the effort the artists are doing, and to also give them directly to the fans. That's my take on it.
That's beautiful. I think you said it perfectly when it's about value, like putting value
Yeah.
back into the musicians and the music. I think you mentioned earlier, like you gave some advice to up and coming like artists and DJs and producers. Like, what would be one last advice or message that you want to say to those who are starting out, who are in the beginning of their journey, like, and they
Yeah.
want to follow like a path like yours?
One of the most difficult things you need to do, but I think if you start with that, it's gonna make it easier for you, is to really create your own style, and it's easy to say, but creating your own style doesn't mean to be unique at something, because music has been made for years, right?
Everything's been done almost.
Yeah, but if you blend this with that, and you and music wise, and then you put some artistic approach to your social media and to your style, of the way you dress, the way you talk, you create like a brand with a personality that translates through music. Man, I've been in these 20 years. You will get there in 3.
Nah, that's a hot tip right there. Yeah. Lastly, where can people find out more about you, or where can they find your music?
Brother, easy at Cato Anaya everywhere. We're constantly working on having amazing videos, live sets on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We need to be everywhere. TikTok, just at Cato Anaya, and you can, get to know me a bit better.
Do we see you dancing there on TikTok as well?
Not for the moment, but who knows?
Awesome. Thank you again, Cato, for your time and sharing your inspirations, your knowledge, your experience, and the value that you're giving to our audience. And we wish you the best on your career and your touring. And you can find out more information and inspirations about the music industry and DJ producing here at babymonsterdj.io. Check out also our social media and our YouTube channel. So thank you again, Cato. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye-bye.